Hi, boys. Welcome back to another episode of the Fellowship of the Fleek Fantasy Football Podcast. Today, I'm going to be joined by Nathan. You're up.
What's up, Fellowship of the Fleek? Season 2 time.
Season 2, we're here.
We made it.
We did. So, I want to start off this episode with some league rules and kind of stuff we need to discuss on that front. And what I want to discuss is defenses today. So I haven't prepped you, Nathan, on this topic. So for you guys watching, Nathan's going to be kind of offering his advice kind of just cold. But I know you've done fantasy for a while, so I'm sure you'll have some good thoughts. All right, so this all comes from an article I read called "You Deserve Better Defensive Scoring." I found it like I think a couple years ago or a year ago, and I really liked a lot of the stuff that they covered in there. And I was just like, yeah, I'd like to implement this in the league that I'm in the future. And so now this is kind of us discussing how we would implement it. So kind of the main concepts around why it was devised and why it was created is that it always felt, or the person who wrote the article basically said, it feels awkward that defenses start at like 10 and then they can like go down or go up based on kind of the performance of the game, but every other position pretty much starts at 0, and then as they perform well they get points for that. And for defense, it's basically, I don't know if you've ever looked at the defensive scoring or if anyone in the league has, but it's basically just you lose points once for every point that they give up, and then you get points for defensive scoring and turnovers, and then that's about it. So there's no rewards for like three and outs, or I think even like tackle for loss, or things of that nature. So the restructuring of this defensive scoring system basically lets you have your defenses start at 0, and then you get to root for them just like you do all your other positions. So that's kind of the idea of why this all came up in the first place. I'll pause there, Nathan, and just kind of let you respond and see if you have any thoughts on what I've said so far.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would have liked to have read the article because it's it's a tricky science, I feel. I feel like it's taken decades of fantasy for them to lock in that 10 points because what you want to avoid is changing up the rules and then everybody just doesn't use a defense. They just keep that slot empty because it turns out all the defensive with these new rules are just like an anchor on your team. Like it's a lot more likely to go negative than positive.
Yeah.
Or like a situation where like the top 3 or top 5 defenses are actually worth playing and then the bottom rest of them just nobody plays. So if you locked in 5, you get an unfair advantage over
Yep.
everybody else that just couldn't lock it in. So that's why it's a formula. Personally, I don't think I know enough about it to critique it. Like I think if you do have them start at 0, you're gonna have to soften a lot of the negative points. Like if you look at a running
Yeah.
back or a wide receiver, it's pretty hard for them to go negative. Like it's very unlikely. Whereas in a defense, it's built in for them to like go down. Like that's just the nature of it. So I don't know who the guy that wrote the article is or what he cooked up. I hope he has like some sick algorithms and he knows exactly what each loss needs to be and what each gain needs to be for it to not, devolve into some everybody abandoning defense. But that's, I think, the trickiest thing.
Yep. So I do have some data to show you, which was, I don't know if you remember, but like a week ago, I was blowing up the notifications on the league because I was messing around with the scoring settings. So what I basically did was I implemented a couple variations of the point structure and then saw what the results of 2024 would have been. So I have a couple graphs here that I want to show you. So here's the first one. So this graph, what it's doing is it's showing you the amount of points that that position got at that rank in the position. So the rank, like the first point here on the wide receiver red line, that's Jamar Chase's total points for 2024. So I put on here just as a frame of reference wide receivers, running backs, and then tight ends. The green line is the defensive system as it is like stock, no touch, like haven't touched it. And then this orange and yellow line are kind of the other two that I'm looking at potentially doing. So you can see here
Who's that
that
crazy receiver at one?
that's Jamar.
Oh, I thought you were saying who. Yeah, I see that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It
Yeah, so
drops
that was
off.
Jamar Chase. And then I think this might have been Justin Jefferson. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, you can see this was just
Thank
insane.
you. Kamara's
And then
crazy.
and then that was Saquon, and then it kind of I think Jahmyr Gibbs was a top five as well, and then I don't remember that much after. But um, so this is kind of what the the you can kind of call it like the perceived value per position kind of is as it stands now. And I'll just say like looking at this to me, defense is being less valuable than a tight end feels wrong just because I feel like in the actual game of football, tight ends are not like they're not the most important position on your team. Like defense is half the game. I just feel like defense should be worth more. But we can kind of get into that a little bit more later. But I have another graph here that kind of blows up this section. So I removed tight end because it kind of muddies the water. So there's only three lines in this one, but in this graph, blue is the historic defensive scoring, and then red and yellow are the other two kind of optional ones that I've brought up here. So essentially, the red and the yellow are the same. It's just that I boosted the red a little bit to make it a little bit more strong overall. But I felt like what I was gonna ask the group is basic, because what I would like to do is move to at least this yellow line, because in my mind, like it's not changing the value of defense that much in the grand scheme of things. And it just, like I said, lets you go from zero up. But that's gonna be something we can vote on as a group. And then if you go to this next slide here, I mean this is kind of hard to look at, but this actually shows you every single change that got those lines earlier. So you can see here, right? In the stock options, you basically just lose points the more you score. And then down here,
Oh
there's
yeah.
some stuff for like positives, and then that's kind of it. And then this system just kind of turns it around altogether, and it basically, so you can see like you do lose some per point scored, but it's not like the whole thing, the way the whole thing works. And then on the higher end on this one, you do lose some more here. This is the option two. That is this yellow line here, so it's the slightly less strong version. And then as you go down here, you can see on like very high yards, you get docked. Basically, it's the thought is like if your defense is giving up a crazy amount of points or a crazy amount of yards, you're gonna get docked points for that. But anything kind of in the norm or lower, you're not. And then the thing that I really like is like it gives points for three and outs and fourth down stops, which I think is like it gives you more to kind of root for when you're watching a team that you have the defense starting in. And then down here in this section, it also counts tackle for loss, which I feel like should be something that a defense should be rewarded for, just because those are like, negative plays are huge. And then it rewards a little bit more for safeties and some other stuff as well. So now that I give you more like context and more points and stuff, what are your thoughts now?
Yeah, right off. I kind of like the one, like the option two. I kind of like that it's got a bit more negatives in addition to the positives, just because if your defense is getting dog walked or something, I feel like it should be a punishment, sort of. But
Yeah.
um, I can see it. It feels like more of a we obviously have different rules because we have a super flex where
Yep.
quarterbacks have skyrocketed in value. But in a standard league without a super flex, it almost feels like the defense will be a watered down quarterback in the sense that there's only like 30 of them or however many. And usually, like everyone gets one or two quarterbacks. Everyone's going to get one or two defenses. So
Yeah.
um, I think it'll be interesting. Like I'm on board. I think these point totals look good. I think it'll be interesting. I want to cook up some strategies of maybe. I mean, you're probably not going to be picking defense last anymore. That's for sure. It might be like somewhere in the
Well, I
bottom
mean,
five, but
yeah. I mean, you can see right with option two, I think this graph kind of paints a better picture because you're seeing it from like this graph is blown up, right? It's not 0 to 200, it's 75 to 200. So I really wanted to give you a zoomed in view on this one. If you look at this graph, you can see that like teal line and the green line, like the top ranked defense actually scored the exact same number of points in each system, and then the first half of the way, like they're slightly higher. But yeah, I don't think this change will really impact where people should draft defenses at. I just think it kind of makes things easier to look at, and you don't start a game with 10 points and then you're like guessing at where you're going to end up. You're kind of just going up naturally. But what do you feel about me just saying, we're going to do this, but you're going to choose between these two versus like asking the group if we should do this at all, and then if so, which one do you want? Like, what do you think about that?
Are you a dictator? We're gonna get
Yes.
into that later in Civ.
Well, the answer to that is yes.
Um, honestly, it's not gonna hurt my feelings if you just say we're gonna implement it. Here are your 2 options.
Yeah.
That's how I treat Charlie with dinner every night. She can get mad about it, but she gets over it, so I'm pretty okay with that. I really honestly, looking at those charts, I don't think anyone's gonna be that emotional
I don't
about
think
it.
so either, yeah.
It looks like it's all just neck and neck. I mean, I would say if you were cooking this up on your own without, these stats, I'd be a lot more hesitant because of that whole situation of people just not using defenses.
Yeah.
But this looks like it makes a lot of sense, and the numbers have kind of been thought through. And I do like the idea of not starting at 10. I always thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, and I'll put the link to the article in the description so you guys can look through that. And I think like in the future, I would love to see us boost defenses like somewhere like maybe in this range, because to me it just feels crazy that the top no the top defense in the league last year scored you less points than like the 17th or 18th best wide receiver. Like the best defense in the league should be more valuable than the 17th best wide receiver in my opinion. But I think that's
Yeah,
definitely something later on we could discuss, but yeah.
what a minimum, like it's another side of the ball you can cheer for, like, while you're
Yeah.
watching a game, if you have the defense in, like,
Yeah.
normally I'm like, "Oh," I mean, if they stop them, good, but it's not life or death, but if they are treated like a tight end or even a little above a tight end, then I think you're gonna care more.
Yep. Cool. Well, I think that's good discussion on that, and yeah, I'll include that in our poll. I think I need to send out a draft availability poll soon, just because I want to make sure we get that time and date locked in before people's calendars get busy, and then later on we'll send a poll for like all these finalized league changes. But with that,
Wait,
we'll
are we
go.
doing auction or we're not doing auction, right?
No,
Or did
no,
that
yeah, there wasn't enough votes for that. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and transition to the catching up with the fellowship section. And I will click whenever you're ready, Nathan. We can start with your first one.
this is a fun first picture to start off with. So the neighbor right behind our house, like if you look at the very right edge of that photo, you'll see just a sliver of a house. Like that's our housing units. There's a cluster of 4 of us. Uh,
Oh no.
our neighbor right behind us would just shoot guns in his garage. Oop, can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
The,
Yeah, can you start over from the house on the side is yours neighborhood?
yeah, so the neighbor right behind us, you could see that SWAT truck is on a like a 20-foot wide driveway, so he's like 20 feet from our house. But that neighbor, we had a neighbor in that complex back there that was crazy, and he would just shoot guns in his house. I think Haley, my wife, like tracked him down on Facebook, and he had these weird videos and stuff he was posting. But he's caused like a few people to move. We've called the cops so many times, like everyone in the neighborhood has, and like nothing's happened. He'll just randomly, like once every 2 or 3 months, he'll just shoot off a gun, and everyone freaks out, and then like he goes quiet for a bit. And so it was horrible. Nobody liked it, and eventually it escalated to the point where he, like, I guess stopped shooting pistols and started shooting a rifle, which is a whole different ball game. And he shot a round that actually went through that house. That's the sliver on the right. Went through it. It was very scary. That was our neighbor, and we're close to them, and they got real pissed off, and so they went all over Houston. They went to the DA's office. They went to the police station. Like they weren't going to stop because every time we've called the cops before, he would just turn the lights off, go dark, and then they couldn't do anything. So they would just leave, and they never really tracked how many times they had to go out for him. It was kind of dumb, but eventually they got a detective on the case, and this guy went just ham. So he got freaking 2 SWAT trucks lined up. You could see in that picture there's a little robo dog down on the
Oh
ground that
yeah.
they breached for, and they sent in a robo dog and they sent in a drone. He wasn't home. They just, I don't know what the point was. I think they weren't sure if he was home or not, but he eventually, I mean, they tracked him down, and he hasn't been living there anymore. So it's been a really peaceful year so far, which has been nice. But that was a crazy January.
And just to give a little bit of reference to the other guys in the league, like Nathan does not live like he lives in the city. Like there's it's not the country at all. So this is like shooting a gun in your house is not at all something
Yeah,
that should be happening where Nathan lives.
if you're familiar with Houston, I'm in like the Heights proper, and like not even a sketchy part, like a really nice part of the Heights. Like there's an old folks home across the street. Like we got some. It's a nice place. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was rough, but he's gone. Hopefully for good. Next up, and I apologize. This has been a Charlie heavy year. Charlie's my daughter.
Oh, can you also tell us which month the pictures are from? I don't want to assume they're just in order,
Oh
but
yeah, so I went in order.
okay.
So
So that was January
like
and this is
top row
February.
left to right goes in
Okay.
order, and then bottom row left to right. And I
Okay,
think
cool.
you called it. So yeah, top left was January. This picture is from February, and it was my daughter's first birthday, Charlie. So you can see we had a great turnout. Tons of friends from all over showed up. You look real closely, you could see Michael on the right side, Michael and Vicky right there. But it was a ton of fun. Lots of drinks were had, and Charlie had a real good turnout for her first birthday. But that was probably the best thing from February.
Yep. Trying to think if there's anything else that I had to add from there. But yeah, it was a good time. It was the first time that we got to see one of our other close coworkers, babies, I think in person. Was it the first time we saw both
Shanti?
Santi and Jonah, or did we see Jonah before? I can't remember
I want
now.
to say we've seen Jonah before, but it was the
Okay.
first time for Santi, I'm pretty sure. You could see Santi there on the very far right in his little black stroller.
Yep.
Um,
Where's
yeah, it was
Jonah?
fun. We had face painting. It was fairy themed, and ever since then, Charlie's been obsessed with butterflies. So it was a real good event.
Nice.
Next up, I came in clutch. Michael didn't know we had pictures from the rehearsal, but I took a few. But obviously, that was the biggest event of March was Michael's wedding. You could see this picture was running through vow practice the day before. It was like the most stunning venue I've ever seen. During this time, I'm not sure if you guys know Michael's friend Nick, but he was just saying the wildest stuff in the background, trying to crack everybody up. But Michael kept his composure and got through his vows despite Nick drinking vodka and eating flaming hot Cheetos and saying some wild stuff. Um, but very, very fun event. I didn't have any pictures on my phone from the wedding itself, but I'm glad it kind of worked out that I had some from the rehearsal.
Nice. Yeah, no,
Michael got plenty of stuff from the wedding.
yeah, the rehearsal was really fun. I feel like that was like the first thing that really happened that weekend because it was Thursday morning and then Thursday um afternoon was when we had our whole day and then Friday was the wedding. So it was like everything was really starting to feel really real at that point and it was a blast. Whenever I saw this picture, I was just looking at Vicky's face. I was just like, damn, like that was such a happy day.
It's full of regret.
Yeah.
That venue was seriously mind blowing. Like it looked like you can kind of tell from the photo, but it looked like we were in Italy or something. It was
Yep.
nuts.
Yep.
This would be April, which is Easter month. This was just at my mom had a rental house just outside of Houston, and so my daughter's in the front middle, and then my identical twin nieces are behind her on the flanks, Molly and June. And then the bigger girl behind Charlie is her name's Lauren, but we call her Beans. That's my sister's oldest. So she has three cousins. Charlie has three cousins from my sister, and they had a good time on Easter, just hanging out.
Nice.
That was more of a quiet month. May we went to Florida. Again, very Charlie heavy, but all my pictures on my phone were of Charlie, so y'all have to get through them. But no, it was awesome. We went to my dad's house in Florida. It's in Navarre, Florida, which is real close to I think it's close to Panama City. But really, really pretty. The beaches were stunning. It was not too hot, and yeah, Charlie had a great time. She's like me; she burns like crazy. So we were both full long sleeve hat, fat kid at the pool style, not letting that sun get to us.
It, okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought I had something, but I forgot. Okay, we'll go on.
It's all good. Uh, this next one, Charlie drinking a bush. It's a drink called a bush apple, which I don't know. This one of our friends, me and Michael's old coworker Josh. He's a good friend. He's actually coming to town this weekend, but he has an intern at work, and he said this intern is obsessed with these things called bush apples, and it's not a cider, but it's like a bush beer, like a bush light infused with apple and it's really weird. And he's tried to pawn them off on everybody. I think he's been trying to pawn them off for like 3 weeks. And then we ended up, going on a vacation with them in North Carolina, and they brought the bush apples, and I was the only one who could tolerate them. So I just drank like 15 bush apples that weekend. Wasn't too bad. Charlie wanted to have one. I'm not going to say if we gave her one or not,
I'm trying to
but
Google here
very
what
fun
bush
weekend.
apple is. Bush light apple.
Dude, they have like an app, I guess, where you could track them. Dude, they were like the most mediocre drink. Like, I don't know why there's a craze around them apparently, or maybe Josh was just like screwing with me and there's really not, but they were like fine. They're like an appley beer, but I don't know. People go crazy for them. But we did a lot of fly fishing that trip. It was awesome.
Nice.
I'm not sure if we have any fly fishers in the group, but I doubt it.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a single
Who's the most
fisher in it.
outdoorsy Fellowship of the Fleek member?
Um, Tyler likes to camp a lot, but he's not in. I don't think he ever fishes. So
Yeah.
I mean, he likes to like tent camp and hike for sure.
Maybe we should do some superlatives for the Fellowship of the Fleek.
What do you mean? Most likely
Like
to.
most outdoorsy, give an assignment, or everybody can have like a superlative, like a yearbook.
That would be fun. I'm trying to think. I'm blanking on the group right now, but not. I think it might just be
It's
Tyler.
Chin. Chin seems like he likes to be outside.
Yeah, he does like to be outside, but that's usually not in the outdoors. All right, here's the last one.
Last one's the best one. So, for like 4 years now, once a year, me and three of my buddies, it's two high school friends and a friend from college, four of us, we all meet up at somebody's house to have like a big LAN party weekend, kind of like Michael's bachelor party, basically. But we've been doing it pretty consistently for like 4 years now. So we usually game every Tuesday night. We just do like a quick poll and we decide what game we're playing. We're all PC gamers. And for this year, we went to my other buddy Michael, his house in Austin, and just had a great time. We had all kinds of polls set up. We had a full agenda for games that we wanted to play together. It was like the ultimate nerd out. Like middle school Nathan would be so proud that 35-year-old Nathan is still holding it down and playing games like GoldenEye with his friends. So we had a blast, discovered some awesome new games. GoldenEye still holds up well, it's still a ton of fun. I absolutely rocked those guys' world on Golden Gun mode. Like it was just disgusting. But we played some Tony Hawk, some other classics. And then obviously like Marvel Rivals and some League of Legends and some more modern favorites. So just the best. We look forward to it every single year. Hopefully, it never stops.
Is there like a time of year that you plan it around every time, or is it just kind of when you guys feel like it?
Us- Usually ends up being summer, mid to late summer, just because usually and we don't put them too close together, just because we don't want our families to think we're abandoning them. As much as I would like to do it like quarterly if possible, but Uh, usually around summertime, we're like, okay, it's been long enough. We got to get back together, and it's been pretty consistent. We usually start planning it in like the spring, finding a weekend everybody's free. I do like 5 or 6. It's kind of like being a commissioner. I do like 5 or 6 polls, like deciding like the themes and the food and the games and everything. We go like pretty crazy for it, and then yeah, it's an absolute blast of a weekend.
I don't remember if I talked about it on Tyler's episode, but for his bachelor party, we did some Nintendo 64 gaming as well, because he's Tyler's really into retro gaming, and he has like a OEM, or not OEM actually because it's modded, but old school N64, and he has like this one cartridge that has like 200 games or something on the one cartridge, so you can play pretty much any game that was made for the N64.
Yeah,
And
that's so
then
like you've got to send me a link for that. That's awesome.
yeah, I was asking him about it, and he told me that it was from this guy that operated out of Ukraine, and that like he doesn't think that he's doing it anymore because of the situation. And he said something like when he got his, it was the guy he was like, "This is gonna be my last shipment. Enjoy," or something like that. But maybe there's some you can buy on resale, or I'm sure there's probably somebody else somewhere else in the world that's also doing it too. But yeah, definitely ask
That
Tyler about it.
I'll reach out. That's awesome. Yeah, I played more GoldenEye this year than I've in like the last 20 years.
Yeah,
It's
we've
been wild. I got the
no, No, go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead.
I got the Nintendo Switch Online has N64 built into it now, and then I ordered from Nintendo. They have like these wireless Bluetooth N64 controllers, so you don't like they're just great. They have like Rumble built in, and so I've been playing Banjo Kazooie and I've been playing some GoldenEye, and it's been pretty legit.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is when we were playing GoldenEye, I didn't like I had played it a little bit when I was young, but at that point in time, my mom was like, "You're not allowed to play games with guns in them." Still, Halo 2 was actually my first ever game that I had with guns in it. So I remember playing it like at my friend's house a few times, but it wasn't something I put like many hours into. And it took me a while to realize that like you don't really aim, like you just face towards them and shoot, and it like aims for you, which is
Mhm.
so bizarre because there is a way that you can manually aim, but it's like slower than if you just let it aim for you or something. Very weird, but yeah.
It's an interesting thing. I actually was reading an article where like we had the perfect transition. Like we were in Super Nintendo where it was just a D-pad, and then we had N64, which was a single thumbstick, and it was like a stepping stone to getting to twin joysticks. Because apparently it's really hard for kids to just jump right into twin joysticks. Like it takes some learning and coordination.
Mm.
So we kind of naturally evolved through the single joystick, and as weird as it feels, like it was a stepping stone to getting us where we are, which is cool. But really, for GoldenEye, you got to master the C buttons because the left and right C buttons are the strafe, and then the up and down kind of tilts up and
Oh.
down. So you can like strafe and slightly tilt, and then it'll auto aim like right onto the enemy. And you just, I never use the R button aiming just because it sucks so much. But you can use like strafe and tilt and stuff to kind of to hone in on them.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's all of the updates for you. I forgot about I haven't even done mine yet, so here are mine. Actually, I guess before that, do you have anything else that just in the since the league ended till now that you want to kind of update anyone on?
I don't think anything major. No, it's been just same routines over and over.
Cool. All right, so for me, these pictures are all from May, so that's my month to update you all on. This first one is a board game. So, Vicky's friend group has a weekly board game night, which we've been pretty consistently going to, and they've been on a tear playing this game called Guards of Atlantis 2, which is essentially like a MOBA on a board game. So, it doesn't have. It's like if you imagine Summoner's Rift, but instead of 3 lanes, there's 2 lanes with like a jungle connecting them, and then you all have heroes, and I think the base game comes with like let's say like 20 heroes or something, and then they have multiple expansions. So I think we have. I say we like I don't know any of it, but we have like a total of like 30 heroes, which is an insane amount. Like none of us have yet played all of them
Yeah, that's
individually.
not wild.
Yeah, and
Do they
like
have positions like they like to play,
they
like
have
jungle or?
no, they have more like roles. Like this one is really good at farming. This one's really good at tanking. This one's really good at attacking. And there's like 6 different kind of roles. And then they have them ranked in order of difficulty as well. And there's a leveling system. So like you basically start the game with 5 cards, and 2 of them are attack oriented, one of them is move oriented, and the other 2 are very different just depending on what character you pick. And then as you level up, you basically upgrade the cards. You switch a card out with a stronger version, and there's like a tree system too, so you get to choose between 2 cards. Like you could have like this attack card that's just more powerful, or this one that's more flexible, where like you can attack in different ways. And then you can kind of see the board a little bit, but there's like a hexagon system, so like
Yeah, I see
it
it over there.
yeah, so like the movement will be like 3, so it's like you can move 3 in a direction, or some of them might be you can attack 6, but it has to be in a straight line, and some things are not. So it's just like it's really cool. I feel like it's really balanced. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool because like Vicky plays it too, so I feel like I kind of get to show her that MOBA style game in just a different way because like I don't think I'd ever get her to play League, but she kind of sees the concept because there's like a nexus, and you have to put if you push the minions into the nexus you win. So it's just like it's a lot of fun. And I was hoping like because I want to redo my bachelor party as like a yearly kind of celebration kind of thing, kind of like how you guys do a Claycation. And if I can make that happen, which I should be able to, I'd really like to have some of my friends bring this board game, and we can probably have like that going on kind of while people are playing as well. So yeah,
Be
looking forward to
fun.
that. Yeah, it's really fun.
Also, don't sell Vicky short, man. She's pretty toxic. What's that shooter she plays?
Valorant.
Wait, Valorant. She can handle League. I think she can keep it up. Like, I think
Well,
she
no, it's not
might
the
out.
toxicity that I'm worried about. I think she just doesn't like the mouse clicking. Like movement.
Have you heard the WASD update?
You're kidding.
They're implementing WASD controls.
You're lying. You're trolling right
No,
now.
I'm not even kidding. It's in beta right now. They're about to do WASD controls for League.
No way. What?
It's a renaissance, dude. It's coming back.
What? That's crazy. Is this
Yeah, I
this
think the video
this is
came
not an
out for
April
like
Fool's thing. It's literally
no, it
two
came out
days
like a week or
ago.
two ago. Yeah, it's pretty new. It's crazy that you just brought that up because I was watching the video on my phone before you called in.
That is actually insane.
I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm like very interested to see like if you don't have the W key for your W ability, I'm not sure where those abilities will go.
Maybe you'll click. You'll scroll through and like click with your mouse to use your
Maybe.
ability. That's
Um, I'm ready to try it though. I think it'd be kind of cool.
I'm definitely gonna have to try it out just to see, but that sounds like a dumpster fire.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be OP. Like it may like make the mouse game go away. Like it
You
may all
think
be
so?
WS. Dude, the mouse is so like not intuitive. Like it takes just years of practice just to be decent. Like
I
it's
agree.
crazy.
I agree that it's less intuitive, but I feel like you have so much more control that it once you get to like even 50 or 60% competency, like you can do a lot more than you could with WASD.
I don't know. I mean, what I'm thinking about is like if you're an ADC, you're gonna click and then you're gonna click to move, and then you're gonna
Yeah,
click again. Like just clicking to attack and using your WASD just seems like it's better in every way. Like I don't really see. I guess
yeah,
like you're locked into moving in like six different directions or eight different directions, but
yeah.
um,
I mean,
I don't know.
I think certain mechanics for sure will be easier on WASD, like the one you said. But I think that lack of fine control, especially with League, because there's like with skill shots and stuff, and like the dodging and the aiming is so precise. I feel that losing that control is gonna be huge. I wonder if they would separate the queue out even, or they would let people choose in the same
Dude,
game.
if you think about it, like the
Yeah.
most competitive shooters are WASD with precise clicking. Like Counter-Strike, the pros are moving with WASD and they're shooting. Like I don't think that clicking to move is
Mm,
ever beating WASD. Like it just feels like I just don't unless like it makes your movement more predictable so you get hit by skill shots more.
yeah.
Maybe, but it's just tough for me. Like when you have all these competitive shooters where it's all WASD and clicking, like I don't know that how it's gonna compete.
Yeah.
But I'm interested and I'll be
Yeah,
trying it for sure.
we'll have to check that out for sure. All right, so next up, I think this was for my birthday dinner. We went to this restaurant called Chop and Block. It's like I think it's a West African restaurant. It's on Westheimer, kind of close to, you know where the El Tiempo in Westheimer is? I think it's like across the street or it's like very close, but I highly recommend it. It was really good. There was like two or three things that like you know when you just go to a restaurant, eat something, and you're like thinking about it for like a few days after. Like they had these like beef skewers that were just insane. But yeah, the food was really good. Vicky's looks like this because she doesn't like getting her picture taken, so that's why.
What's in front of you? What is that?
I don't remember.
It looks like
I think
two
it's like a
pieces
meat
of garlic.
patty. I think it's like a meat patty. I think because I think that's what she has here. I don't know if there was four or if that's something else, but I can't. I don't remember.
It's like
I know
garlic
I
toast.
ordered like a jollof rice with like a it was like a curry with some kind of meat. I don't remember if it was chicken or if it was goat, but that was really literally everything we ate was amazing and the drinks were really good. The vibe was awesome. So yeah, if you and Haley are, have a date night coming, you need a restaurant recommendation, I would recommend it for sure.
What's it called again?
Chop and Block.
Chopping block.
Here is some of our friends, Shruti and Salah. So they got married in May. So it was actually there's three weddings in this friend group this year. Trying to see if I make sure I'm not forgetting anyone else. But yeah, I think there's three weddings in the friend group this year, including ours. So they had a 2 day thing, but they split it up over 2 weekends. So the first weekend they had their Hindu ceremony, which this is kind of a picture from that, and it was cool. Kind
Is
of
that
like how
turmeric in your hair?
in their hair, yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say
yeah.
unless Salah went with like the frosted tips for his wedding.
Yeah, so it was cool. Like, if you've ever been to a Hindu wedding before, but Usually there's like there's one part where there's like a fire in the middle and they have to like walk around it 7 times and each thing
Cool.
means something and it was pretty long. I felt bad for Slug 'cause he was just sitting there on the floor for like hours and we were all kind of just hanging around watching him, but it was cool.
His mustache is looking good.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I think he has more of a goatee now because there's not much hair on his chin then, but yeah. Um, so this was actually no, this was from my birth. I think these three pictures are all from the same weekend. And this is from we played pickleball. So I had a little just a pickleball get together for my birthday. Had a nice showing. Trying to see if there's anyone.
I think I went.
That's what I was trying to remember is if you were there and I think
Pretty sure I
I
went. Haley didn't, but I'm pretty sure I went.
yeah, maybe you had to leave a little bit before we took the pic. I think we took the
Or
picture at the
maybe I'm
very
thinking of
end.
volleyball.
Yeah, you remember, yeah, that was last year. I think actually something happened. You couldn't come last minute or something like that.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all good. But it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, I love playing pickleball, and you know, just got the whole fam and everything.
You ever gonna beat your father-in-law? Think you got it in you?
Dude, we can't put that on the internet, man. Let's edit that out. All right. So this was the second weekend. So their kind of American wedding day, which is kind of funny. You can see this. That's when in sometime between here and here is when I buzzed my hair.
Yeah, is this a
Um,
permanent thing now? You're going buzz all the time?
no, just buzz for the summer. I think that's gonna be my thing. I think every summer I'll just buzz
Going
it.
buzz.
Yeah, and it's felt really nice with the heat and stuff. But I think so. I buzzed it just like I think last week, but I'm not gonna buzz it again until like next year unless I change my mind. But yeah, so that was the next day of their wedding. It was a lot of fun. It was cool because Chantel got invited too, which was like the first like it was just like kind of weird and cool just being at a wedding like with my sister for like a mutual friend. And it
Mhm.
wasn't like, because usually I feel like when you go to things like with your sibling, it's usually like something family related. But like this wasn't family related. We were just there both as friends. So that was really fun. And then Vanny was in town. She got invited too, so she was there. And she's in town actually right now. So that was
Nice.
fun. And then so Mason had been asking us for like months to go climbing with them, and I had kept giving him an excuse that I weighed too much, so I didn't want to go. And then I had finally lost some pounds a little bit after the wedding, and then I gained them back since then. I need to lose them again, but at that time I was in a better spot, so I was like, okay, let's go finally. And Vicky was really excited to go, but it was really cute because she was getting scared when we were there, and so I had to like hype her up. And then I think this was the first time that she went over the wall. Maybe it wasn't the first time, but she went over the wall and then she was really happy. So I just took this picture and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that was at Momentum in downtown.
Nice, yeah, no, Mason invited me as well, and I really wanted to go. It's hard to get away sometimes, but I still want to, Mason. We'll go
Have you bouldered
because it looks
before?
fun. I used to boulder in college. Not like I wasn't like a bouldering guy. I didn't
Hmm.
have like those little pointed shoes and chalk and stuff like that. But since I worked at the rec center, I could come in early and mess around the bouldering wall. But I didn't do it a ton, but it was definitely fun. I
I
got the
f-
long arms, so
that's what I was gonna say is I feel like you have long arms and long legs, so I feel like you'd be good. You'd be good at it.
I would like to get into it. It's a great workout, but yeah, bouldering's it's a blast.
Yeah, Mason I think gets like a certain like I think he can bring someone every month for free or something like that. So and I don't know how
Did
often
you
he uses it.
did you scale the wall? Did you get up there?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I mean, this gym is just bouldering, so all the walls are I don't know, something like 7 to 9 feet tall total. So they're not super super tall, and then there's some that are a little bit higher, and they're all broken down by like difficulty. So like the the real easy ones are like super easy. So like if you can climb a ladder, you can climb that wall. So they're not like hard at all. And then they progressively get harder. So I did some, and there were a bunch that I definitely couldn't do.
Dude, one thing that weirds me out on bouldering is like people will work out their fingertips
Hmm.
and you'll see them like holding on by like their last knuckle. And for some reason it grosses me out to like watch like I feel like their knuckle's gonna flip backwards and break. Like it
Yeah,
just I can't watch those workouts. There's some I don't know,
yeah,
something about it is just
yeah.
gives me the willies.
Yeah, I feel like the level system for the climbs, like the first thing that becomes hard is when the handholds get really small, and the same kind of thing weirds me out too, and it's hard.
And being upside down, some
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
yeah, cool. Um, well, yeah, I mean, I got yeah nothing pretty much else from May other than that. I guess I forgot to mention, but I turned 32, so that was the for the birthday. But yeah, other than that, everything was good. And for this next segment, Nathan and I are gonna play some Civ 6. I'll be playing for the very first time.
Yeah, hopefully Michael doesn't get overwhelmed. It's one of my favorite games. If you guys are familiar, it's a very dense game. There's a lot to learn. A lot of fun though. Strategy game, a 4X game. So I don't know how late I'll be able to play, but we can get dived in and figure out at least who you want to play as and see how you do.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop it here and then I'll restart.
Okay.